What do you do every day? Hi, I'm Mike Henry, Sr. with Follower of One. Thanks for joining me again today on the Follower of One podcast. Today we're talking about Acts chapter 5, verse 42. And the passage reads, "And every day in the temple and from house to house, they kept right on teaching and preaching Jesus as the Christ." That's from the New American Standard Version of the Bible. I jump around with different versions. I tend to kind of land on the New American Standard. That's been my default for a number of years. But I also read the English Standard and the Christian Standard and other translations as well. Well, this is the closing passage from a series of events that occurred in the latter part of Acts chapter 5. Peter and John were in the marketplace talking about Jesus, and they were arrested and thrown into prison. And that night, while everyone was asleep, an angel of the Lord came and sprung them both and told them, set them free, and set them back in preaching and teaching and doing the exact same thing again the next day. The next morning, the Jews wake up ready to try them, and they're not there. And they find out that they're out preaching again. And so they go and arrest them a second time. They have this discussion where they decide not to punish them or keep them in prison, but they whip them, they flog them, as we discussed in yesterday's episode. They flog them and tell them not to preach anymore in the name of Jesus. And they let them go, and they leave and they rejoice, which is another podcast episode that we've done. You can check in our archives. Look for Acts 5:41, talking about them rejoicing that they were worthy to suffer for Jesus' sake. And then the very next day and every day, they went into the marketplace teaching. They kept right on teaching and preaching Jesus as the Christ. They kept right on. Every day they kept going. And that's my challenge to us today. No matter what we face as marketplace Christians, every day we can go into the marketplace and make a difference. We can do what Jesus has for us to do today and every day. And I believe that's our challenge. We're to be these people who are every day teaching and preaching Jesus as the Christ. Many of us do not have a platform to teach or to preach, but we can live following him. We can live differently in the presence of our friends and our coworkers and our customers, such that they might ask. We get an opportunity to go into our marketplace every day and live following Jesus. And when we do, sometimes we get the opportunity to speak. Sometimes we get called to suffer as a result. Sometimes we face difficulty because of our faith. But every day we have this opportunity to go live like Jesus followers, to go be difference makers in the workplace. Thank you for being a marketplace minister. I want to challenge us today to consider that every day is another opportunity for us to do this. Let's be intentional about living with our faith front and center in every decision that we make, in every action that we take, in every choice that we make. We have these opportunities to live life following Jesus. And then Jesus works out the circumstances of our participation. When we see him working in that, we experience great joy. And that's what I believe is the blessing that we get from entering the kingdom of Jesus by obeying him daily. Thank you for being a marketplace minister. Thank you for considering how your faith makes a difference in everything. What we do because we follow Jesus matters forever. Thanks very much.